Hey Floyd here. Just wanted to check in and see if you're in charge of your future, or if you're going to protect yourself in the way of having enough food, water, ammo, bulletproof vest. Um, are you independent, or are you waiting for somebody else to take care of you, feed you, house you, give you money? You you really need to become independent, and independent in all aspects of your life. You have to own that. And I think we've relied way too much on government for sure, and perhaps our employers and so forth. We've certainly put a lot of faith in our doctors and so forth, and that's not coming out very well. So I'm just curious if you're going to be taking charge of you, so that nobody can take that away from you. Like, for instance, to say your food. Do you know how to plant a garden? Can you raise your own food or hunt your own food? Um, what about your finances? If you're working for somebody, you're at their uh, discretion as to whether or not you're going to stay open and keep working and what. If something goes south, you don't have anything to fall back on. We know that there's going to be some type of readjustment in the financial department. That's why you see all these ads to buy gold and silver. I know that's more of a rich man's game, but there are companies out there that do a little bit of better job at allowing the average person to participate in that. And I know I've got one of those things in mind, but I'm not trying to sell anything today. I just want to spark a conversation about being individual, being in charge of everything that you've got going on around you. You know, in charge of your mainly your food and housing and whatnot, because there's nobody that's going to take care of that for you, right? And maybe for your health, instead of thinking about trying to get to see a doctor, which it takes forever anymore to do that, there are alternatives. There are natural products that you can use that our ancestors used all the time. We didn't always wait for the doctor. Did you realize that the number three killer of people in the United States is malfeasance with doctors? Yeah. Well, they make mistakes. I get that. But anyways, that's a statistic. I'm just quoting that. Number three cause of death in the U.S. That's unacceptable. But anyways, it still falls on upon yourself. That's on your shoulders. I was talking to a gentleman the other day. Poor guy's fighting cancer, and he's get some kind of chemotherapy thing going on, but he still smokes, and he wants to quit smoking. And I told him, well, I had a smoking problem a number of years ago, and somebody just told me that if you own it and you want to do it, you'll do it. Chewing gum is not going to do it. Hypnosis and all this other stuff for quitting that habit. If you don't really want to do it, you're not going to do it. So if you own it and you just tell yourself, we're done, we're not doing that anymore. We know it's bad for us. It costs too much money, and we'll feel better if we, and live longer if we get rid of that habit. But you have to own it. And it's the same thing with your financial. You have to own that, and your food, and how you're going to protect you and your family. Well, mainly protect yourself. Like when they say in the airplane, if that thing drops down and you got to get oxygen, you put yours on first, so then you're able to take care of others. So you're owning it. You're independent. I know it's a little bit out there, but anyways, that's what my mentor has been teaching me. Don't rely on him to provide me with the information, or spoon feed me so that I can make money online. I need to be independent. And that's what he presses, is that you are independent. If you're going to be an online marketer, you need to be independent. You need to have your own personal website And you can sell anything you want out of that website, but it needs to be yours. Because if you build a business on what, Facebook or Twitter or one of these other social media accounts and they close, I guess you're out of business. You're done. You may even leave money on the table. It's just because you're not in control. So you need to be in control of what is happening around you. Don't let things happen to you. You own those and take charge of your own self. I hope that helps. I just wanted to spark a little bit of conversation in that department because we know the environment's looking really rough. And those that are not going to prepare and own their situation and take charge of that are going to be left hungry and out in the cold. So let's see if we can pass this around a little bit and get people to be more independent and self-serving and stop relying on government or other people and own it. We're all smart enough to know what we should eat and what we should do. We just need to start making a bigger effort in doing that and keep an eye on those around us as well. We've long since lost control of our political parties, so we need to keep an eye on them once we get this thing figured out and get back to smooth sailing, because they ran a little bit off the rails and they're dragging us with them. So be independent, get off the rail, and let them go ahead and crash their ship, but you take care of yours. Okay? If you had anything out of this, please share it. Thanks.